and listening. We often hear these two words, and often, in fact, in real life, day to day life, they are often interchangeably used. But is there really a difference? Yes, there is. There's a big difference between the two. Hearing is a physical process. That means, for the purpose of hearing, we just use our ears, one of our five sensory organs, the ears we use. Likewise, we hear a noise, we hear a sound, we hear the sound of a tire bursting on the road, we hear the noise of a quarrel going on, right? So that's hearing. So that's basically a passive activity. We don't have to really put in effort. I mean, we are walking on the streets and suddenly a tire bursts. We don't have to really be conscious to hear the sound of the tire bursting, right? Or when somebody is talking, we can hear the noise. We don't have to really put an effort to hear what he is saying or the noise of his voice. And then hearing is natural. It comes naturally because, as I said, we don't really have to do something from inside or give a conscious effort from inside to hear to a person. It comes automatically. So that's a passive activity, as I said. Now, in contrast, listening is a very active activity. It does not come naturally because we'll have to really put an effort to listen to a person. When a noise happens, when a sound occurs in the environment, in the surroundings, we hear that. We don't really listen to that. We listen to a person. That means we actually absorb what he is talking about, not just the voice of his speaking. So we listen to a person when we understand what he is talking about, or at least give it a try to understand what he is talking about. So listening, in contrast to hearing, is just not a physical process. It's a combination of a physical, because obviously it needs the activity of your ears. It's a physical process as well as it's a mental process, because you'll have to concentrate your mind to listen to what is being said. You don't really listen to a noise. You hear a noise, but then you listen to a person. You listen to somebody's speech. You listen to a presentation, and you watch, of course. So listening is a degree above hearing. Hearing is the basic most thing which can be done by one of our five senses, which is our pair of ears. But for listening, it's a skill that has to be learned, because everybody who hears cannot listen. Listen means you'll have to learn or make yourself understand what a person is talking about. So that's a skill which can be developed. That's a skill which can be learned. So listening is an art. So that's why we talk, listen carefully. We don't tell hear carefully. We tell listen carefully. Means you try to hear with your senses, but not just passively, not just naturally. You become actively and mentally a part of the listening process, so that you absorb what is being told and why it's being told. So in non-verbal communication, when we talk about, as I mentioned in one of my very early videos, there are three components of, communication. One is the verbal communication, where words are spoken, which is only 7% of all communications. Then you have got the verbal communication, or rather vocal communication, which is 38%. Vocal means the voice, the pitch, the volume, the modulation, the change of our volumes or modulations. And of course, the rest is your non-verbal communication. So here, out of this 93%, which constitutes the total non-verbal communication, 38% is vocal. So when we hear the vocal, when we hear the voice of a particular person, in order to assess what's going on in his mind from how he is speaking, not just his facial expressions or hand gestures, even when we listen to him, the pitch at which he is talking, the volume that he is talking. The same sentence can be spoken in different pitches, different volumes, different modulations, or different levels of expressions. So depending on how a particular sentence is spoken, we can make out whether the person is agitated, or whether the person is cool, or whether he is just giving a statement of fact, or whether he is being emotional. For that, we need to listen and not just hear. So that's what listening is all about, and it's an integral part of non-verbal communication. In order to assess and understand and read a person properly, we need to listen to a person. If you want to learn more about this interesting subject, you're welcome to grab a copy of my book, Speak Without Words, Your Journey to the Mastery of Non-Verbal Communication. That's available on Amazon platform in hardcover copy as well as Kindle edition. So you can go through that book and you can understand more about this particular subject, this particular chapter or subtopic in the non-verbal communication. And you can follow my channel, Rejection to